Okay, in this video, we are going to look at how to add a chart to our Google Sheet. So we've got two ways to insert a chart into our sheet. We can go to the chart icon right up here and select that and insert chart, or we can go over to the insert menu button and go down to chart. Either way, both will get to the same menu. But before we do that, the first thing we want to do is we want to select our range of cells that we're going to use in our chart. So for this example, what I want to do is I want to take the first names, and then I want to have the assignments 1, 2, and 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select cell B3. I'm going to hold down the control key, and I'm just going to go down. I'm going to select all the way down to cell B9. And I'm going to hold that control key. And what that does is that lets me select other cells that aren't right next to this one. If it was right next to this one, I could just continue to drag over, but I don't want the last name, so I want to select the assignment. So I'm still holding down my control key, and I'm selecting the left mouse button. Now I'm going to just drag across these. And I'm going to let go of the left mouse button and the control key. So there we go. We've got the cell range that we want. I'm going to go up here to the insert chart. And you can see it brings up our chart editor over here on the right, and it puts our chart onto our sheet. Now we can move our chart around. We can just drag it. And for this example, I'm going to just expand it out here a bit so we can see the chart. So what Google Sheet does is it tries to pick the best chart type for the data that we've selected. So if we go over here to our chart editor, under chart type, we can choose a different chart. So you can see we've got a bunch of different ones. We've got bar charts, we've got line charts, we've got area charts, we've got pie charts, scatter, map, and then a bunch of others. So in this case, I want to choose a column, which I have right here, but I don't want it to be a stacked column chart. So I want to just have a regular column chart. So you can see we have our names down on the bottom axis here. Then we have our scores going up here. And so here some of the other options we have under the data tab. We've got our chart type. We've chosen not to have stacking. It has our data range that we're using to create this chart. And then we've got our combined ranges, our horizontally and vertically. So if we change those around, then it gives us options to move things around. We can switch rows and columns, use row 3 as headers, use column B as labels, and then aggregate column B. But I want to have this horizontally. Then it shows us what our x-axis is. So we've got our first names here. If we select this, we can edit the first names, we can remove it, or we can add a label. And then we have our series. We've got our assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, and by clicking these little 3 stacked buttons over on the right here, gives us the options to edit, remove, or add a label. So then we have some options down here, some checkboxes for switch rows and columns. So if we select that, then that puts them all under the assignments instead of the names. And some of the other options, we've got use row 3 as headers, and we've got the use column B as labels. And we've got, if we select the aggregate column B, that doesn't do anything in this case. So you can see that for one of our students, Kathy, we only have one assignment here that was 90 points. And we can see that the reason why, if we look at our assignments, is all of her other assignments are 60. And our range is starting at 60, so it doesn't show these. So for this example, we'd probably want to change our range. So to do that, we go over to Customize tab, and we go down to the vertical axis. And you can see right over here we have minimum value, maximum value. So if we put 0 in here for our minimum value, now you can see it brings up the other assignments as well. So some of the other options we have on the Customize, we have chart styles. We could change the background color if we wanted to change the background color. We could change the font. We've got a variety of fonts that we can choose. We can maximize it. We can change it to 3D. We've got compare mode. We've got, for chart title, we could change chart title. Call this assessment. And we've got the options to change the font, to change font size. We can make it bold. We can italicize it. And then we can align it. And then we can also change the color if we want to change the color to something else. Maybe say blue or purple. All right, then we have our series. Under the series, say apply it to all series. But we can change, say if we want to change the color of assignment 1, we could change it to pink. That doesn't look too good. But anyway, that's how you could change the different series. So you can play around with that and choose different colors. For left axis, we have error bar. And we can add data labels. There we can change the value of the data labels. We can change the font and the font size. And then if we want to, we could put a trend line through there. Then you can choose the type of trend line you're looking for, the line color. You can change the opacity. Those are some of the options there. Also under the legend, you can format the legend here. So you can change the position. Some of the options you have are top, bottom, left, right, inside. So you can play around there with a legend. Here you can adjust the fonts, you can adjust the font size, you can change the format from bold or italicized. You can also change the text color. And then under horizontal axis, same thing. We've got options to change the fonts, font size. We can bold it, italicize it, text color. You've got an option to reverse axis order if you want to do that. And you've got the options to slant the labels. So in some cases, if you have a lot of data, you may want to slant the labels, and you can choose how much you want to slant those labels. The more data you have, sometimes it's easier to make them vertically so they don't take up as much room. But in this case, we're not concerned. We've got a pretty simple chart here. We also have vertical axis. Same thing here. You can change the fonts, label font size. You can either bold or italicize. You can change text color. And here you saw where we changed the minimum value to 0. And then you could set a max value here if you want to. And then we have some other options down here under number format. from data, none, custom, and then you have the options to show grid lines or not have grid lines. Okay, so that's the basics of the chart editor. On our chart, there's the top menu buttons up here on the top right hand side, these stacked 3 buttons, and if you click on that, you can edit chart. You can go right into the chart and add to it. And you can, it just lets you go right into the chart and make edits. You can delete the chart. You can save the chart as an image. You can publish the chart. You can also copy the chart if you want to copy it and put it somewhere else. You can move the chart to its own sheet so that it's not competing with your data here. It could have its own sheet. And the alt text, this is for screen readers. So if there's someone that doesn't have good vision, but they're using a screen reader to read the graph here, you click that and you can just put in a description of your graph, and it'll help the screen reader to read it out. Okay, so that's the basics of creating a chart. This example is a very simple example, not a lot of data, but this should give you a good idea as far as how to create a chart and some of the options you have for adjusting the chart once you've created it. Okay, in this video, we looked at how to create a chart and some of the formatting options available for charts. Make sure to check out our other videos in the series on using Google Sheets. Thank you.